What is up, Wednesday Night Live?
What's up, what's up, what's up?
This is exciting. Chidima's here, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, all caps, Chidima in the chat right now. Maybe give her like your favorite emoji.
Yes.
Let's just show some love to Chidima. It's going to be amazing night tonight. Chidima, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Yeah?
Very happy to be here.
Okay.
Feeling a little nervous, but
Okay.
I'm overall excited.
Overall excited.
Pumped. Yes.
So if you don't know, we've been promoting this idea that we're going to be coming back to in just a little bit, but we have some live animals in the building right now. Hey, you have a mic. You have a mic right here, Reed. You can just go right up to it and do the air horn noise whenever you'd like to.
Yes,
but
yes,
I think we probably heard it out in the chat. But hey, we got Chidima going in strong right now in the chat room. Oh my gosh, she has it on her phone?
I sure do.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, tonight, it's going to be amazing tonight. So what's going to happen? Oh no, we have chat open right here. Here, let's go ahead and get it right for you. How about that?
Yes,
because we need Chidima to look at the chat, but I just closed her phone. Guys, we're professionals
here.
All
okay.
you need to do is press play and then the volume goes down. And now we're looking at chat. That's amazing. So
we're good.
First of all, we're going to be throwing out some questions here in just a second, but maybe you can guess in the comments what animal we're going to be bringing out tonight, and we'll see who is right. We got Erin Wood, who is our chat host for tonight. So she's going to be going through all of it, but do you have any guesses what is going to happen tonight? A liger, maybe? I don't know.
I do have some guesses, but I'm scared of these guesses.
You don't like animals?
I am not an animal fan.
Wow.
I'm not
an animal fan.
From a
I love
distance,
animals.
like I can appreciate God's creation, but from a distance.
Riley Turner put a snake emoji, so
yeah, that's my fear. Yes, literally, yes.
So
yes,
guys, in the chat right now, we got a conundrum. Who would win in a fight? A hippo or a rhinoceros? Jonathan Pickens says hippo. A rhino has a horn.
I think a rhino, exactly. A rhino has a horn.
So a hippo apparently is 3 times the size of a rhino, but I don't know if you're going to beat the horn,
The horn is
right?
unmatched.
I do know if you, this is something, those weird things that you learn in elementary school that just stick with you forever?
Yes.
There's this random fact about Reed said math? No, it's this fact. If a hippo puts his mouth open as big as he can, you can fit 8 basketballs inside his mouth.
For real?
That's big time. That's rhino fighting territory right there.
That's true. That's very true.
Okay, Look, we got people coming in the chat here. Somebody said, what is a liger? We'll separate those two things. Lion, tiger, liger. So rhino got 3, hippos got 2. Rhino's coming in pretty much.
Yeah.
Strong, dude.
Yeah.
Jonathan says you're uninformed if you are choosing the rhino. But you got 2 pretty smart people over here saying rhino.
Honestly,
over
yeah.
here. We got Brad Jones in the building too. Brad, rhino or hippo? Hippo. Hippo, what is happening? I don't know about that. Somebody else says hippo. Okay, now the hippos are coming in. They were shy, I think, Jonathan. They were a little insecure. They were a little. They needed Pastor Brad to give them the nudge over.
Yes.
So that's it's up for debate.
Sure.
But it seems like it's kind of split 50-50. I wish that we can see a video. That would be amazing.
I know, that would really solve a lot of things.
I'll call Animal Planet.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Planet Earth 3, I'm in the middle of...
You got this.
They fired Morgan Freeman. And they hired me to be the voiceover for
Can you imagine if that actually happened?
Yeah. It's me and Snoop Dogg. We're both teaming up to narrate Planet Earth.
I would pay to see that, actually. I really would.
Okay, so the next question that we were talking about today that I want the chat to speak into here is if you were to have the ability of any animal, what would that ability be? So like flying, swimming underwater, like a fish. So, okay, wait. Reed just made fun of me because You can probably swim underwater too. I meant breathe underwater. Golly.
Dang.
Someone escort Reed out of this building right now.
Did not have
He
to do
is
you like that.
trolling me.
He did not have to do you like that.
Oh my gosh. No, I meant breathe underwater.
I knew what you meant.
The speed of a cheetah.
Sure.
What would you choose? We're getting into Animorphs categories over here, but
Okay, I actually was thinking about this yesterday because I saw a video of a fish.
Sorry, somebody said skunk fart. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Roman coming in hot.
All right, Roman A.
Okay, I interrupted
We hear
with a
you.
skunk fart.
Yes,
I'm
right.
sorry.
So I saw a video, it was a random video of a fish in saltwater and, well, wait, can fish, maybe it was freshwater. I don't know, I don't like animals. But
Okay.
I had the thought, I would be a fish or some kind of underwater creature just to be able to explore.
There's so much to
Right,
explore.
and
Oh
not
my
run
gosh,
out of
Chidima,
breath.
you've never been
Yes.
more right about anything
Thank you.
I've ever thought.
Yeah.
I would love the underwater experience.
Yes. Like, what if there are mermaids down there? You don't know.
Listen, I meant, you know what I mean.
There's some haters in here. There are some
Oh my
haters
gosh.
in the room.
I need to just wear the different hater blocking goggles on. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
I think I'm going just for the sake of the argument. I love eagles. I think they're the most bad
They're
to the
pretty
bone
dope.
animal. I mean, being able to fly would be incredible.
That'd
but,
be awesome.
You know, I mean, I know that Reed often talks about his T-Rex arms, so maybe he would want something with a little bit more longer arms so he can be a little bit more like a normal person. Normal reach. So I don't know. That could be an option. What do we got
Okay,
here?
yeah. What about y'all? What do y'all think?
Running fast, breathing underwater, flying.
Yeah.
Will says flying. Then he said he can sneak into Disney World unseen.
Ooh.
The minds that we have in the chat are so,
I'm here for it.
IQ is at 200 right now.
For sure.
That is amazing. Okay, so there's a third question that I want to hit briefly because there's been some hot debate. Me, Jonathan, and Reed talked about this at length earlier.
Oh my goodness.
An embarrassing amount of time.
Incredible.
So, Chidima, if you could have, how do we phrase the question? If you could have half the body of any animal, what would that animal be? So Reed, example, Reed wants to have the upper body of a lion. He wants to have waist up, lion mane.
But why?
I don't know.
Why?
Hey, do we have a microphone back there? Get Reed up here. Reed. We got a mic for you. Reed, get up here and explain yourself. Come here.
Please.
Because you also talked about a scorpion, which I need to hear more about.
I said that if I decided that I no longer cared about being a good person and I was to join the dark side,
Sure.
if I were an evil person, I would pick the lower body of a scorpion. Because you can't be a good person with the lower body of a scorpion. You know what I'm saying?
You can't.
You have a scorpion body. You just be, and then, and you have to sting people if you have the lower body of a scorpion.
Okay, fair.
I can't think of a scenario where that's a good thing.
Yes,
Sure.
nobody crawls in
That's
with a
fair.
scorpion body and you
That's
go,
fair.
that's a nice person. You immediately think that is an awful, horrible, scary person. But if I wanted to be a good person, upper body of a lion, head, mane, everything, would really work for me.
I like it.
But why?
Why would it not? What
Why
do
would it
you
not?
want, Chidima? You can't critique until you've thrown out your animal.
You're right. Okay.
While you're exploring the ocean, you could swim underwater like a fish.
Dude.
Apparently. What would you like?
Reed is such a
Off
troll.
the top, he really is. Off the top of my head, I think maybe this might be lame, but a horse.
Dude, I am so with
But why? but why?
Because I just think it would look cool. It'd be kind of
Exactly.
Hey,
Thank you.
I have the trump card.
Okay. Point made.
Top half of a Wookiee. Just Chewbacca.
Okay, so you went fake. You went with a
Hey,
fake
and
animal?
then also Roman coming in. I mean, he is the biggest advocate for skunks that I've ever met before in my
Lower
life.
body of a
Bottom
skunk.
half of a skunk.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
hashtag smell the skunk.
Incredible.
I would be a centaur. See, I like
Unicorn.
the horse vibe. I mean, just
Yeah.
be able to
Yeah,
run
yeah,
and then just
yeah.
like, damn!
Been done before, though.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a lion man
That's
before.
cool. That's cool.
Kangaroo. Picking
Middle half of a turtle, says Dylan, could take body blows all day long.
Actually, I'm here for that. That's great.
I like it.
Guys, we're running out of time. I think we need to move on to what we're all here for. Everybody, claps for Reed in the chat. Claps for Reed. That's amazing. Nobody clapped in the audience, but that's fine. I'm sure he loved that. But we, before we get into the main part, there's also, we started this thing last week called Shoutout videos.
Oh, cool. Yes.
I don't know if you got to see that or not, but we do shout-outs. Chidima, do we have any more shout-outs?
We sure do. Also, if y'all want in on that and you want to send out a video, just DM us. We'll hook you up. It'll be great.
Awesome. Check out this video.
Hi, I'm Parsley. I'm a recently graduated senior and I'm headed to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. And I just want to shout out my amazing small group and awesome small group leaders, Mary and Tina, and Carrie and Megan. Love them. They're all so amazing. I seriously have the best group ever. And just some things that I miss. I miss going to church in person so much. I miss being in the front at the 5 and singing with everyone and just missing my friends and all of that. Yeah.
Hey y'all, I'm Eleanor Rand, and I just want to shout out my leaders, Stephanie and Katie, because I miss them a lot, and all the other girls in my family group. And I also really miss the Rising. I miss the Rising a lot.
What's up? Just want to give a shout out to some of my boys, Torben, Noah, Asher, Benjamin, and Liam, just to name a few. A couple things I've been missing during this quarantine are easily some sports, like basketball and football, and then going out on Sundays and throughout the week with my friends to eat and just hang out and have a good time.
What's up, Passion City Youth fam? Best day ever. Man, I miss you all so much. And huge shout out to our leaders as well as our incredible, amazing students. I love you so much, and giving you a hug through the phone. Word of encouragement for you this week. Let's just continue to lean in and press into the Word of God as we're led by the Spirit to really finish this week strong. All right. Love you, fam. Bye.
Amazing. We love the shout-out videos. Again, like Chidima said, you can DM us your shout-outs. You can be featured on Wednesday Night Live shouting out your crew. But we are ready because right now we have Wednesday Night Live Animal Planet happening right now. Come on, everybody. Get some hype out in here. So this is exciting because Chidima, again, like we mentioned, if you're just joining, we have animals coming out, and the first animal that we have today is something cute. We have a hedgehog. Everybody welcome Hedgehog right here and our friend Jody.
Hey,
everybody
hi, Jody.
welcome Jody out there, our animal handler here. Are you afraid right now, Chidima?
No. Not
Surely
afraid,
not.
but alarmed for sure.
Look at the face. The face.
Do you want me to hold the hedgehog first?
I'll do it for the peeps.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an African pygmy hedgehog.
Okay. You gotta hold
You gotta hold it in a ball.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, you good?
Yes.
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Don't take it.
right.
Take it.
Can I take it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Now she has about 5,000 to 7,000 quills on her
I
body.
felt that on accident. I
And
didn't realize.
she can control all of them. She can lift them up. She can lay them down. Right now they're laid down, so she feels safe and comfortable.
Oh, I'm glad.
But she will stand them completely up and make her spines extremely sharp.
Only bleeding a little bit over here. I'm just kidding. Chidima, do you want on the shoulder maybe? No, on the shoulder. We have other animals that can maybe do that here in a little bit.
Oh, do
What's
we?
is there anything else like super interesting that we may not know about hedgehogs?
There's actually 17 different breeds of hedgehogs.
Dang.
Wow.
This is the smallest.
Okay.
This is the pygmy hedgehog from Africa.
big do they get?
How big do they get?
There's large ones in actually England that get about the size of a large rat, a small kitten.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? She used large rat and small kitten like interchangeably. So any cat lovers out there, you pretty much got a rat at home. I'm kidding, guys. Wow. This is amazing.
Yeah, and their face is just adorable. They are very sweet and affectionate. They have the cutest little noses on them.
Look how cute.
They love to smell. They get their name because they are normally found in garden, so they're garden hedges. So they get the name from being a hedgehog.
I've never seen Chidima more tense in my life. And I'm going to be honest, it's a steady incline from here.
Just wait.
Maybe it's time for the next animal. Are you cool? Hedgehog, everybody.
Let's
Come
go
on.
ahead.
We're out here in the wild.
We are definitely out here, that's for sure.
Look what we got.
So this is one of my favorites. This is Viola. Viola is a ball python from Africa. She's actually in Africa. She would be called the royal python because of the design, and no two pythons are the same.
Wow. Python.
Yes.
Wow.
So then when they're great pets, they are, and so when they came over to America and they became Americanized, they got the name ball because they like to be curled up.
How do you feel right now?
Now, there's a good thing.
Overwhelmed.
She's a very picky eater.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's not going to eat me.
So she's very picky.
Great.
They normally like to go for live bait.
Are you really nervous?
A little bit. Yeah. But I'll hold it.
All right.
Is there like any specific?
Like that?
You just hold her and let her just go through your hands. See, she loves to just go through, and she's very soft. Viola is about 1.5 years now, and me and my 5-year-old daughter raised this together.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Ooh, baby, he's moving. He's got ideas.
Yes.
Wow.
Ooh.
Guys, I need to know in the chat right now. Is anybody like deathly afraid of snakes? We need to know right now.
Oh, no.
Chinima's doing way better than I thought she would on the snake.
Not the ball python. No, they are probably the best
what are you so
snake
afraid of?
out there.
Do you not like this? Here, sorry, I'm not going to terrorize Chidima anymore.
It's just
you can hand it over whenever you feel.
I think of the movies, and I've also never held.
Have you never held a snake before?
Never. This is literally
you are doing
the
great.
first time.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're doing very well.
Thank you.
What's like the biggest python like that you could find? Is this an average size, or does it get much bigger?
she's young, so she'll probably get.
I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, she'll probably get
like
about as long as my arm is.
Wow.
Yes, the ball python will.
And then right when this snake's out, thunder hit like this dramatic way.
Oh my gosh.
There's a snake.
There's a snake.
There definitely is a snake.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
This is really cool, and she's from Africa, like the hedgehog is, and then
wow.
also
Friends.
Nice.
yeah,
Friends.
so
Cute.
then also we're gonna keep it in Africa as well, but let's go over to the island of Madagascar because we like to
Love that movie.
move it.
She said,
Thank
"Love that
you.
movie."
Love that movie.
I'm gonna just give you that, right?
Chidima.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Okay. So this is Flash.
Oh my gosh.
Flash is.
Oh my gosh. I can't look. What's happening?
Look down. Oh my gosh.
Flash is a 1.5-year-old lemur.
Does he like
he's
to
a
move
ring-
it?
Yes, he's
Okay,
a
I've been
ring-tailed
waiting to
lemur.
ask that question all day long.
Same.
He's
Oh
a
my
ring-tailed
gosh.
lemur.
What about? Okay, look at this guy. Oh, look over here. Look. Oh boy. Did I just lose the lemur?
No. Come on.
here. I'm acting like I know what to do to get this. Oh no! Here. Great.
No.
Great.
Ring-tailed lemurs are one of the most spastic types of lemurs in all of the lemurs. Come on.
Can we get the lemur up here on her shoulders? Oh.
Nope. He likes the carpet.
Yeah.
Come on down here. Come on.
Oh shoot.
Like I said, they're just extremely spastic. They like to be on the go. They like to be going
Oof.
all the time.
Oh,
there
man.
you go.
Man, I think
No.
I like to move it. Oh, no.
Come on, Flash.
Flash, come check out Chidima's shoulders. Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Now, something really cool about the ringtail lemurs is they actually have 2 tongues. So
Two
they have,
tongues?
yes. So they have the one tongue that you'll see that while he was eating, he was kind of twirling the grape around on his on the top tongue. But then he has a small secondary tongue underneath the first one that he uses to groom. So it feels like sandpaper.
Chidima, how are you doing right now?
I'm okay.
Have you heard one thing about these 2 tongues? Come here. I'll help Chidima out. There we go. I think I like this guy the best.
Yes,
Can he
he's the
jump
best.
pretty high?
Yes. Now they can jump. He can
I'm not
leap.
like this. Okay, there we go.
Yes,
Moving
he
around
can
was good
leap
for me.
and soar, and what he's doing is he's smelling you and seeing if he needs to mark you.
Okay.
That's his territory. Yes.
Have I been marked?
How do you know if you've been marked?
Oh, you would know.
Okay.
You would absolutely know. He would rub his rear end all over you.
Okay.
And so
Interesting.
if he smells any other types of lemurs on you, he will absolutely mark you.
Wow.
Yes.
Man,
So you guys are good
the
because you
skunk
haven't
kid in the
held
chat
any
and
other
then the lemur would
lemur
be getting along
today.
just fine over
Yes.
here. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think we're ready. Are you ready? Oh! Chidima, what I'm observing about Chidima is that her terror completely silences her. She's just like, oh my gosh, you're doing great. I think
Thank
we're
you
ready for
so
the
much.
final one.
I think that you are doing absolutely wonderful.
I
Come on,
appreciate
you.
that, Jody. Thank you.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Are you ready for the last one?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty hyped on it. I mean, first of
Nosy?
all,
Yeah.
the cute factor to the snake, and then
Sure.
to me, the lemur was like my kind of guy.
Yeah. A little spazzy, but I liked his energy.
You did.
So this is Elsa.
Do we need to move this
Elsa
table?
is our 1-year-old kangaroo.
Oh my.
She's from Australia.
Gosh.
She is amazing.
How do you feel right now?
She's a year
I've
old.
never seen a kangaroo in the flesh.
She's a
Oh
year
my
old
gosh.
this month. When she was born, she was actually the size of a cherry tomato.
Oh my goodness.
The mom was only pregnant for about 30 days.
Oh my gosh.
And then what she did is she came out and she crawled up into the pouch where she planted into the pouch, and she stayed in the pouch until just this past Christmas,
Oh my goodness.
where she started getting in and out of the pouch, and
Wow.
then we were able to then start handling her and
Goodness.
and
I've never seen a
and
kangaroo.
start
Ever.
working
In real
with her.
life.
So this is a 1-year-old kangaroo. So
my
I want
goodness.
you
Is there a way to get her to jump? I don't know if that's like a thing where you can just be like, jump.
Now I want you to meet Nosy.
Okay.
Nosy.
Could I get down on the floor with her?
Absolutely.
Come on,
yeah.
Chid, let's take a journey.
Okay.
Nosy.
Come on,
Is-
Chid.
Okay.
Look, this one's like cute.
This actually is pretty cute, not gonna
I mean,
lie.
we're playing with a
Oh my
kangaroo right now and a
gosh.
baby one. You get to hold that one.
So this is Nosy. Nosy is a 6-month-old male red
oh my
kangaroo.
Goodness.
And he has just started coming out of his mom's pouch.
Am I about
and
to get kicked?
This bag, no. This bag right here simulates the mom's pouch. So this one here, when he was born just in the beginning of January 2020.
I know.
And he just came out of the pouch.
Is there a way for him to sit in my lap? Okay, there is. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot.
I don't think he wants to do
Oh,
that.
boy. Hey, I count that as a W right there. Oh, my gosh. Maybe we can try one more time if it's not, like, scaring. Oh, my gosh. Hi. Oh, boy. That is incredible. So how
Wow.
big will this one get?
Now she's a female, so she will only get about 5.5 foot tall.
Okay. Only 5.5 foot tall.
Yeah, she'll weigh.
That's taller than me.
She'll weigh anywhere from 150 to 180 pounds.
This is amazing.
This
Incredible.
tail right
Elsa.
here is a solid muscle.
Can I?
So if you feel it, it's nothing but a solid muscle. And it does not hurt her at all by feeling the tail like that. You want to handle a kangaroo by their tail, because if you pick them up underneath the arms right here, their ribs are about the size of toothpicks.
Oh,
so
wow.
you could damage them.
Do you feel comfy over here with the baby one?
I actually do, yes. This is the most calm that I've felt this entire time.
I love this so much. The fact that I am surrounded by these cute little
hold this
critters.
one?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to hold the other one?
No.
You do not? All right, you don't have to. I feel like
As all the
I've
Elsa
thrown
hair
a snake on you today, so I think I'm
Literally,
tapped out of my
quite
ass.
literally, yes.
You know? I like this guy right here a lot. Okay, we need in the chat right now, which of the 4 would you like to have as a pet at home? I think that it's a toss-up between the kangaroo
The kangaroo for sure.
and the lemur, though.
The lemur, yeah, I like this.
Did you like the
I said.
lemur?
I did.
The
Yeah,
lemurs
yeah.
are in everything, though.
What
Absolutely
would you
everything.
suggest as a pet between the 4?
The snake.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Low maintenance. Eats once a week.
Dang.
Clean the cage once a week.
Hear that, Mom?
Very, very easy.
I love it right now. That is amazing. Guys, why don't we give Jody a big round of applause in the audience and in the chat.
Thank you so much, Jody.
We're going to hand these animals back over to you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you
is
for
amazing.
having us.
Our first ever Animal Planet happened, and we had some amazing
night.
animals. What a night already.
What a night.
You
All
guys
right.
are amazing.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jody.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. This is amazing. I'm going to move back over to my spot over here.
Great.
Okay. All the animals are still trying to get into their... I'm looking at chat right now.
Lemur.
People are saying lemur all the way.
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog coming in, Abigail. Kangaroo says Abby. Mary Charles says lemur. Okay, Joshua Fowler says snake. Not too many people going for the hedgehog though.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because they're like super cute. And they're all over my, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my wife who follows all these cute animals account. But my explore page is just so many cute animal accounts. I'm like, I don't like these accounts. Like, how are they on my
Showing up on
feed?
your explore page, yes.
I don't know what
That's
that is.
amazing. Oh my gosh.
Chidima, hey, we are all extremely proud of Chidima right now. Terrified of animals, but made it through
Thank you.
really, really well.
I'm adding this to my resume because
So,
that
you need
was
to.
that was something else.
So Chidima's about to hop out of Wednesday Night Live, but before we do, there are we learned a lot about animals.
We sure did.
But I bet you didn't know a couple things. One, cats are terrified of cucumbers, and that goats, they faint when they're scared.
Really?
They faint when they're, some of them do. They faint when they are scared, and if you don't believe me, take a look at this video that we're gonna play in a second. But you're gonna vote in the chat which one you think is funnier, the cats or the goats. Go in the chat while the video is playing.
My money's on the goats.
All right, we'll see what
goats.
happens. Say goodbye to Chidima, and
Bye,
we'll see
y'all.
you back here in just a second. Check out this video.
See ya.
Let's get Boo out. Come on, buddy. Scoop. And there he goes.
Incredible, guys. I mean, come on. I mean, looking at the video again, I've watched it a few times today because I was laughing so hard, but I don't know, something about the cats, the mystery behind why they're so terrified is beyond me. But I mean, I think that's funnier in my opinion. Anybody else, what are we thinking? A lot of people are saying goats. Margaret, I'm shouting you out again, girl, because you agree with me. And I only shout out people who agree with me. I'm kidding. But Joshua Fowler says cats, but we are getting a ton of goats because goats are the goat. Kind of sounded like a goat right there. And but is it like hands up for goats in here? Goats for the funniest, feigning goats. Okay, that's majority in the room. Okay, so we'll give it to the goats as the funnier thing. But I don't know. I thought the cats was funny too, but they're both amazing. But we are excited about what's happening here today. This is part 2 of our series, Good Trouble, which has been incredible. Week 1 with Reed kicking us off was amazing. And but before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit, in case you're new watching the stream, want to say welcome, shout you out. Thanks for watching Wednesday Night Live. Maybe you heard about some live animals, but we're not just about having fun here, even though we do have a lot of fun. The engine behind what we do is family groups. And family groups are amazing. It's a group of people to process life with, to process these talks with, to try and navigate what it looks like to follow Jesus. And it's the lifeblood of what we do. It really is. And it's incredibly powerful, the stories that we're hearing out of these groups. And if you want to find some community, because it's been difficult to find community during this time with COVID and trying to stay quarantined and safe, but we also believe that you grow in groups. And so this is if you're not in a group, I really urge you, take that step. Maybe ask a friend. You could DM us, or in the chat right now, you can put your name and your grade, and our chat host will reach out to you and try and get you connected into a group. It's super fun. You'll meet some amazing people, and a lot of them meet right after the gathering on a Wednesday, just like tonight. But like I said, part 2 of Good Trouble happening, and we got the newlywed Mary Michael Brenner up in here, which is going to be amazing. But before we get her on here, check out this video and we'll get rolling.
Jesus flipped tables. Jesus fashioned a whip. Jesus tossed people out of the temple.
That's not what we typically recall when we think about Jesus. We usually think of him as meek, kind, and graceful, and all of that is true, but he's much more. Jesus was also confrontational, bold, disruptive. He got angry, righteously angry at the things that make God angry. And that fire fueled his actions. Jesus caused good trouble. And that's what we're called to do. If we follow him, and I mean really follow him, then our lives will take a similar path. We will be humble, generous, compassionate, but we will also be courageous, bold, and disruptive. Because what matters to God will matter to us. Following Jesus will be costly, but it will be worth it. Let's cause good trouble.
Passion students, oh my gosh, I am so excited to be with you guys tonight. My name's Mary Michael. If we haven't met yet, and if we have met and I know you, I miss you like crazy. I can't believe that the last time we were all together was in March, but I am so happy to be with you tonight on part 2 of this new series that we're in called Good Trouble. And I hope you caught last week. If you didn't, you should definitely go back and watch Reed kick it off. But I don't know about you, when I heard the phrase Good Trouble and as we were announcing this new series, I was like super intrigued as someone who historically has struggled with rules and maybe has gotten into some good/bad trouble myself. I don't know where you land with rules, but I don't enjoy breaking rules. But if your rule is stupid, I'm gonna have a hard time following it. And I don't know if you feel like that or not. Some people, they just love to follow rules and they're gonna stick tight to everything. Some people, you love to push the envelope. I don't know what that's like. I don't like to get in trouble. I don't like to disappoint people, but I do have a hard time with stupid rules. But if you can explain it to me, man, I will follow that rule for the rest of my life. One example of that is that I grew up going to a summer camp where they had really nice like landscape and like well manicured little areas right in front of the cabins, which seems kind of like maybe you shouldn't put those there, I guess, if there's kids running around. But they were very strict on not running through that area, which again seems silly because if I'm at summer camp and I'm a kid, I feel like I should be able to run wherever I want. But they were very, very strict on that. Even though if you cut through the grass, it's like way quicker to get to the door of your cabin than it is to go around and take the sidewalk. And even though that seems silly, how they got me was, first of all, they were like, hey, it's somebody's job to like take care of this. And like they work really hard at it. And I was like, I mean, I'm not a terrible person. I don't want to like ruin somebody's work. I guess I can respect that. But what really got me for some reason is they used it as like this really intense metaphor for like life. And they were like, we don't raise campers to cut corners in life. And so we're not going to cut through the grass. And I'm 25 years old, and ask me if I ever cut through the grass. I do not. I don't even have to think about it. It's not even on my mind. It's like the weirdest thing. Who cares about that rule? Apparently I do. Another ridiculous rule that they had when I got older and I started to work at this summer camp, this was among some other annoying rules, but I couldn't have more than one ear piercing. Tell me who I'm hurting by having 2 holes in my ear other than me when I get this piercing done. Like, why can I can't work here with that? I just don't understand. That's like a stupid rule, you know? It's like, well, I don't understand that. And so instead of like respecting that rule and just being like, well, that's the rule, I'll just take them out. And if I have to get my ears re-pierced at the end of the summer, so be it. I should have done that. But what I did instead is I always showed up from my days off or my weekends off with all my piercings in, and I would just wait until someone told me to take them out, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot, which is ridiculous. But that's what I mean about stupid rules, and I don't recommend that. You should respect your employers and take your piercings out if that's what they require of you. That's a free one for you tonight. But I don't know where you land with the rule thing. I have kind of gone back and forth in different stages of my life of how I feel about that. But it doesn't matter where we feel like or if we think a rule is stupid or not, right? Like the right thing is always the right thing. Whether it's convenient or whether it's cool or whether it's like risky. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. Because I know for me, at least, there's been a lot of times in my life where I've known the right thing to do and I've chosen not to do it. Just like I was just talking about, like I should have taken my earrings out before I showed up to do my job. But it wasn't worth it to me to do the right thing. And so where we're headed tonight, talking about good trouble, is that sometimes doing the right thing, it's a risk. And it might be a risk to your comfort. It could be a risk to your popularity. It could be a risk to a lot of things because it's doing what Reed was talking about last week, right? It's like disrupting some things. It's like, man, I think it's stupid that I can't have 2 earrings right here. Like that's disrupting me, as like dumb and like small as that is. Those are the kinds of things that Jesus came to make right? Like he came, yes, he was gentle and kind and loving, but he came to make things right, which implies that things were wrong and needed to be made right. And you can't make things right without stirring things up. So we're going to look at this story in Mark chapter 3. We're going to start in verse 1. And this is the story of a group of people, not unlike us, who were given a chance to do the right thing. They knew the right thing to do, and they chose not to do it. And we're going to see how Jesus responds. And we're going to see, too, why they chose what they chose, why they didn't stand up for the right thing. Because a lot of times we can excuse that, right? Like it makes sense. We can justify things. We can talk circles around convincing ourselves that it's okay. But let's take a look at this together. It says, Mark 3, starting in verse 1, it says, "Again, he, being Jesus, entered the synagogue, And a man was there with a withered hand, which just means he had like a disability and couldn't use his hand. And then it says, verse 2, and they watched Jesus, they being the Pharisees, we'll get to them in a second, to see whether he would heal this man on the Sabbath so that they might accuse him, right? So these Pharisees are just like waiting for Jesus to mess up because they hate this guy. Why? Because the Pharisees were benefiting from the broken system and they were very upset that Jesus was trying to make things right. And so they were like waiting for him to do something that they could convict him on and bring him down. And so they're like, you think he's going to do it? If he does it, we finally have a reason to bring him in. And so verse 3, it says, Jesus said to the man with the withered hand, come here. And he has him kind of stand in front of all the Pharisees. And Jesus asks this question, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm? To save life or to kill? And this is where, he's setting them up to be able to say, obviously the right thing to do is to do the good thing. Obviously the right thing to choose is life, not to kill someone. And they're silent. He gave them the opportunity to stand up and do the right thing, even though it would have been risky for their reputation. They may have been judged by the other Pharisees. They may have lost credit as a religious leader. And for them, the reward of doing the right thing was not worth the risk. So they were silent, and Jesus looked around at them with anger, grieved at the hardness of heart, and said to the man, stretch out your hand. He stretched it out, and his hand was restored. And the Pharisees went out from there because they'd caught him breaking the law and made a plan to bring him down. And some things you should know about this time and about who these people are, if you're new to all of this, the Pharisees were like the religious leaders of Jesus' day. They were probably the most well-read or respected, and they really championed and valued how people perceived them because they wanted to make sure they were doing all the right things, here, like honoring the Sabbath, like they're trying to like check off all these things, making sure that they're doing the right things because they feel like that's what religion is to them. It's just doing all the right things. But what is amazing to me about this story is that, yes, there is a commandment in the Bible that says to honor the Sabbath and keep it holy, but also when asked what the most important command was, Jesus verbatim said, loving God and loving others. That's it. And so while there is a command to keep the Sabbath holy, I don't think that Jesus meant for us to do that at the cost of loving others and loving God, right? Like, so it's not that these guys were breaking a rule necessarily, like by not wanting Jesus to heal. It's just that they were missing the point. Because the point of the law is not that we would just abide by it and stick to the rules. The point of it is that we would love God and love others. And if the law is costing you that, then it's probably not God's law. And so I wonder for you and for me, like, what are some things that you knew the right thing to do and you chose not to do it? I feel like all of us could probably think of a million things. I was trying to think of a story to share, and I was like, oh gosh, we could be here all night. But I think for me, like the most constant time in my life that like the most constant scenario I guess I've been in when I had an opportunity to do something that I knew was right and I chose not to, especially in middle school and in high school, is when it comes to like gossip and inappropriate conversations. And I may not have been the instigator. I rarely was an instigator of any of that, but I certainly didn't do anything to stop it. And I regret that. But at the time, I didn't know Jesus the way I do now. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight is knowing that he's worth the risk. Yeah. And that the right thing is always the right thing, even when it's risky. And honestly, especially if it's risky, because here's the thing. What would have happened if Jesus had asked the Pharisees this question and just one man had stood up and said to heal the man? who knows? Maybe the guy next to him would have stood up and said, yeah, that's the right thing. And it could have had a whole ripple effect that we'll never know because they were too scared. The reward was not worth the risk. And so, you know, I don't want that for you. Like, I don't want you to be my age, be 25 and think, man, I knew better. I should have stepped in to those conversations happening at my lunch table or in the locker room or in the group chat. You know, when they sent me that screenshot, I should have said, hey, that's not cool. That conversation was clearly meant to be between them. We don't need to be talking about this. And that's only something that you are empowered to do when you know that the reward is greater than the risk. The risk of being embarrassed or having people think that you're lame or losing friendships or people thinking that you're judgmental. The only way we're going to be able to make these decisions is when we know that Jesus is worth it. And so tonight, I just want our eyes to be open to who Jesus is. And so that when we get into these situations again, because I know you and I can probably think of things even right now in our day-to-day life that we know better than and that we're ignoring or avoiding. And I want us to get honest about that tonight in family groups. I want us to confess to one another and really get specific about it. But more than that, I want us to decide tonight, hey, next time I'm in that situation, I'm going to choose this. Even though I could lose. Maybe it's money. Maybe you feel led to give to something or to someone. Maybe it is your reputation. Maybe it's an opportunity. Who knows what it is? But we can decide tonight and ask that, like, by the power of the Holy Spirit, that we're able to choose the right thing. But again, we're only going to choose the right thing when we see how worthy Jesus is of losing things. And that's something else I want to zone in on right now is I know this series, I love all of it so much, but I don't want us to get caught up in the fact that following Jesus is going to cost you. It is, and I don't want you to make any mistake about that. It will cost you everything. It cost Jesus his life. Wow. But I also want you to hear that Jesus is not taking things from you just to take them. He's making things right. He's disrupting what's wrong in you, and he's trying to give you the things that you need, the things that he knows are the best for you, that are better than the things that you can even conceive. But it's like the monkey bars. You can't grab onto what's ahead if you're still holding on to what's behind. You gotta let go. And I know that can sound scary, and especially if you haven't experienced the glory of Jesus, and you don't know that you haven't had that encounter that's changed you enough for you to say, you know what, I want that. I want hope. I want joy. I want peace. I want significance. And you haven't been able to see those things in a light that has empowered you to walk away from other things. And that's our prayer for you tonight. And that's, I mean, when I was 22, I remember somebody asked me, like, if you could tell yourself, like 5 years ago, it's like when you're 17, if you could tell your 17-year-old self one thing, what would it be? And my immediate answer, and I would stand by this answer for the rest of my life, is I wish that my 17-year-old self believed that Jesus was worth it. And that's why I'm here tonight, because I want you to know that Jesus is worth it. That's why I'm in rooms like this why I love leading you guys in worship, why I love sitting on the floor in family groups or grabbing coffee with you guys, because it makes me so sad to know that I knew Jesus and I got so tired of doing the right thing and feeling entitled to certain things that I decided to choose those things over Jesus because it wasn't worth it. I was so tired of sitting at home alone on, Friday, Saturday nights because I didn't have any friends because I was trying to do the right thing and I didn't want to be associated with whatever, or be at this party. And it was so tiring, and I became so entitled that I deserve friends. I deserve to have fun. I'm 17. I deserve to do whatever I want. And I did. And it makes me sad for me because I think things could have been different for me. But honestly, guys, it makes me sad for the people who are around me because I think they could have been different too. And that's what is at stake here when we talk about doing the right thing, even if it's risky. you have no idea what is on the other side of your obedience. You just don't. And it could be world changing, but you'll never know if you don't give yourself fully to it. And like I said, it's not just Jesus taking things away from you. He is jealous for you and for your affection, but he's not withholding. The scripture says that he doesn't withhold things from us. You can trust him. And I think, like I said, the only way that we're going to be able to choose these things and to really believe like in our bones, like no matter the good trouble that comes from this decision I'm making, I'm going to choose the right thing because it's right. Yes, I may, my reputation may be on the line or whatever it is, but the only way we will choose these things was when our eyes are open to Jesus. And I love that in Hebrews chapter 12 in the Message version, we get some kind of encouragement around this. And I love the wording in this translation because, like I said earlier, Jesus gave his life as an act of obedience. He gave everything so that the will of God would be complete in his life. And if it were you or me, we might be terrified, we might be resentful, we might be bitter, we might be entitled, we would never have the strength to do what Jesus did. And not only did he accomplish it, but this says here, Hebrews 12:2 in the Message version, it says to keep your eyes on Jesus, who both began and finished this race we're in. Study how he did it. This is where we're gonna zone in, because he never lost sight of where he was headed. That exhilarating finish in and with God. He could put up with anything along the way. Exhilarating. It was exhilarating for Jesus to lose everything on your behalf and to honor God. It was exhilarating for him. It was an adventure. It was exciting. It was thrilling for him to have just the satisfaction that God's will would be accomplished in his life. Other translations say it was for the joy set before him, and that keeping that in mind, remembering where he was going, he was able to put up with anything. And that's what you and I have to do. We have to keep our eyes on Jesus, and we have to remember that God is not taking things because he's not loving. He's trying to replace with good. And that's the exhilarating and thrilling adventure of life with Jesus, is that you can trust that he has good things, that he is worth it. And anything that he's asking you to do is not something, he's already done everything he's asked you to do. He knows how bad it hurts when you have friends turn on you. He knows how bad it hurts how uncomfortable it is to have hard conversations. He knows. He's not asking you to do anything he hasn't already done. So tonight, like I said, I want us to get real about this and think about, hey, what are the things that I know are right that I'm choosing not to do, that I'm ignoring, I'm avoiding? Because the right thing is always the right thing, even if it's a risky thing to do. And I don't know if that is, maybe you were like me right now and you need to stop those gossiping conversations, or maybe it's convenience that you don't want to give up. Maybe you're like, you need to charge your phone in a different room of the house other than your bedroom, because when you charge it in your bedroom, you always end up looking at things you're not supposed to. But maybe the risk of losing the convenience or your social availability and the fear of missing out, maybe those things are worth your purity and your obedience. I don't know what it is for you, but I do know this. In John 13:35, Jesus says this: "By this, all people will know that you are my disciples if you are popular, if you have a good reputation, if you go along with what everybody else is doing, if you don't rock the boat, if you aim for comfort and convenience. No. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." And let me tell you, love is risky. We throw that word around all the time, but love is risky. And we're all familiar with that chapter in 1 Corinthians that talks about love being patient and kind and keeping no record of wrongs. And even those three things are hard to do and they're risky. But that's what love does. Love compelled Jesus to go to the cross for you and for me. And so I don't want us to be like the Pharisees. I don't want us to miss the point. I don't want us to have a good report card but have no heart. You know, it's not about checking boxes. It's about loving God and loving others, and especially when those two things require a risk, because they're the right things. They're going to compel you to do the right things, and the right things are always the right things, even if it's going to cost you something. But I believe in you guys, and I believe in the God that is in you guys, and I believe that even now he's opening eyes to his glory and to his worthiness, and that tonight could be a night when you put a stake in the ground and say, next time I'm in this situation, I right now I am choosing to do X. I'm choosing to respond this way because it's the right thing, and I know it's going to be hard. I know there's going to be an uncomfortable conversation on the other side. I know I may lose something, but I'm deciding tonight that Jesus is worth it, and he is. So we love you guys so much. You guys are going to head to family groups, but I'm going to pray for you super quick. Jesus, we love you, and we're so grateful for what you endured on our behalf and for the example that you set for us. Would you teach us to live the way that you lived, a way where that our faith is exhilarating and thrilling to us? Would you let obedience be enough for us? Would you free us from entitlement? Would you give us courage and boldness to cause some good trouble around us because we're doing the right thing, the thing that you've called us to do, knowing that you are worth every single step, Jesus. And would you start with us? Would you do it in our own lives? And then would you send us out to do it in the lives of the people around us, Father? God, we love you. It's in your name we pray. Amen. You guys go to family groups.